Hi folks, good morning. It's cold still, really cold. So we've decided this weekend, instead of our usual car camping trip to the other side of the country, we decided running up to Christmas we can't really afford the diesel to do it. So instead we're going to do a little bit of twitching from home. So the plan, first of all, is there is apparently a great northern diver about an hour away from us. So we're going to head that way. It's a bird I've seen before, but Kaylee hasn't, so it's well worth a twitch. And then following that, we're going to come back this way and go along the North Wales coast just to see whatever we can find. Stick with us. We've just been to grab some breakfast, and it's snowing reasonably well.
Definitely snowing.
It's definitely snowing. So fingers crossed we won't get caught in it. We're stuck. We have no idea what's going on. We're driving up a road and everyone has stopped. After a fellow motorist managed to organise all the traffic, we finally got back en route. It was a really slow drive as the roads were very icy, but we eventually arrived. We were greeted by a very snowy and icy piece of water with plenty of water birds and had a welcome from an awful lot of white geese. Also in abundance were black-headed gulls. As we looked out on the mere, we heard an incredible crescendo of noise. We looked up in the sky and were greeted by an amazing amount of Canada geese flying over. Other birds on the water were plenty of coots, a good number of tufted ducks. Looking out further on the mere, there were a few goldeneye, including this lovely female. And also on the opposite side of the mere, there was a pair of goosander. After a good amount of scanning, finally Kaylee managed to track down the diver. This is a great northern diver that generally spends the winter around coasts, so rather unusual for it to be so far inland. This was a juvenile bird, but beautiful nevertheless, and also a lifer for Kaylee. This was cause for celebration. After some reasonable views, the diver appeared to vanish. We scanned the lake some more, watched the Canada goose break through the ice, and watched some gulls like this lesser blackback gull standing on the ice. I was greeted, as always in winter, by the ubiquitous robin. So at this point we decided to leave, but not before I got a little bit of footage of this lovely common gull. So we got the great northern diver, which was, Kaylee spotted it in the scope.
I did.
So I've got a little bit of footage of it and it just vanished after that. So I presume it's somewhere else on the piece of water. They can go unfeasibly long distances underwater. So we've just had a sandwich.
Surrounded by raptors.
Surrounded by very hungry gulls that were trying to get in the car to join us eating our sandwich. So we're going to try and head back to North Wales now. It was an absolute nightmare to get here. It took like twice as long as it should because the roads are really covered in snow and ice. So wish us luck getting back to North Wales, and we're going to have a look along the coast. No specifics, we're just going to see what we can find. After a slightly less eventful drive, we arrived back in North Wales at Kenmore Bay. We're at Kenmore Bay near Rill, looking for a supposed black redstart that was seen here yesterday. I know that's clutching at straws a bit, hoping it's still here today, but it's been sighted here a few times over the last week or so. The only problem is no sight yet, and we've had quite a thorough look around, so we're going to resume anyway. We're a bit short of time because it is getting dark quick. There's a load of small birds that have just flown over that I'd like to just check out as well. Those small birds I'd noticed were linnets. The only other birds that seemed numerous around were the crows. Still here at Kenmore Bay looking for the black redstart. No sign, unfortunately, so we're going to move on to the next place, hopefully to look for twite before it goes dark. Before we left, I saw a couple of waders, a curlew and a redshank. Then we headed off towards Flint Castle before it went dark. So we're here at Flint Castle. trying, well, the idea was to try and find twite, but I think it's going to be unlikely because we are losing the light. So, but we'll have a look around anyway. There's loads of wading birds out on the estuary. I'll try and get some footage of those before it goes pitch black. And then I think we're going to head to get some fish and chips after that, before it goes dark, and resume tomorrow. The light was so low, it was really tricky to see. We did see some small birds that turned out to be goldfinch. There was also plenty of waders, including redshank, and out on the estuary some godwits and dunlin as well. By this time it was very cold, so we left and headed up towards the Wirral to Park Gate for a chippy dinner. This was great, we had the chippy to ourselves, and then we went to the boathouse for a quick pint and headed home. We're heading to a couple of places. A few birds we're looking for are black redstart again, twite again, and we may, if we've got time, just whip up the Wirral and see what seabirds are about. So we're at Harden Industrial Estate near Airbus in near Broughton area. Apparently a black redstart had been seen here yesterday. I think it's unlikely we're going to see it because it's like a needle in a haystack, but we're going to have a look around. There's some other lovely birds here, robins, thrushes and such, so nice walk anyway. This was a really cold morning. The only birds around seemed to be the birds looking for the berries, like the thrush, blackbird, redwing and some amazing fieldfare. We didn't stay long, we headed towards Carr Lane in Hale to have a look for a supposed water pipit. So at Carr Lane in Hale, we've just had a look for a water pipit. Oh, she's not seen something. We haven't seen the water pipit anyway so far. We've had a nice kestrel, and we've had a really nice vole at the side of the road, which I've got some great footage of, but no water pipit, I'm afraid. So not a great morning as far as finding the key species we're looking for. We're debating whether to either go up to Southport to see twite, or back on ourselves to Bala Lake to see a ringneck duck, which would be amazing. That's a lifer for both of us. We stuck around for a bit, but no sign of the pipit, so we headed off towards Bala Lake to try and find a ringneck duck. When we arrived at Bala, we were reminded how enormous the piece of water was. We had a look in the spot the duck had been seen, but only saw mallards. We travelled around the lake a little bit, but the only other birds in sight were some black-headed gulls and crows. So we decided to try and make it up to Llynbrennig before it went dark. But Kaylee's sat-nav took us a very interesting route. We are going the right way.
I think so. Very interesting.
Yeah, interesting roads. Thank you, sat-nav. Thank you very much. Could you please check the sat-nav? Oh my life.
I can't check the sat-nav. Oh, God.
Well, at least you get our death on film.
Oh no, that's not even funny. Oh my God. No. I might have our death on film, but it doesn't even look steep in this camera.
Oh, it's pretty steep.
It doesn't even look steep. Honestly, it's steep. Right. Come on, car. Back up the steep hill. Oh God. Come on, car. Come on, car. You can do it.
After this very snowy and cross-country drive, we finally made it to Llynbrennig. It was closed, so we took a drive round the corner to a place where in the past there'd been great grey shrike, but there weren't many birds about. The only one I could find is this lovely dunnock. By this time, it was time to call it a day. This had possibly been our toughest weekend as far as birding goes, having only found one of our target species, the great northern diver. But we did see a lot of other cool stuff, like this lovely vole and some great winter birds like the fieldfares. So it wasn't all a loss. This, I think, will be our last adventure for this year. But keep watching. 2023 has got some exciting prospects for us, with at least one international trip and loads of other UK trips planned. with some great target species, and of course all the updates from our birds at home in the backyard aviary itself. Thanks for watching this video, and a massive thanks to everyone who supported us in 2022. Here's to 2023. Please like, please comment, and please subscribe. See you soon.